interest from Texas Tech University, I do believe. What does it mean for you to be able to now make this year's team heading into Jamaica, representing the Bahamas, representing your family, representing Grand Bahama, represent Bishop Michael Eldon High School?
It means a lot, you know. I never been on a big stage like this. You know, it takes some hard work, some dedication, and God helped me along the way. So I just continue to push throughout the year and make more teams as time goes by.
I'm watching you train with Shamar right now, and even with Aaron. How are you gonna focus on the specific things that you need to in order to be able to represent the Bahamas and come back with a medal, hopefully?
Well, I just can focus more on my finish, make sure that's up to par, because that's what it's get you through the race and get you a good time. So I just can continue to be strong and run hard so I can do better.
Outside of sports, as far as academics, what's your long-term goals? What do you want to be? What do you see yourself doing once it's all done with track and field?
Academics-wise, I want to take up computer science. I don't know exactly which field I want to do yet, but I'll figure it out.
And there you have it. That is Michael Stiles. He'll be representing the Bahamas at this year's games in the 400 meters under 20 boys. Hopefully the 4x4 as well too. He's a kid that's running with a heavy heart. He has a lot to offer, a lot to prove, and hopefully he can come back with a medal and represent the Bahamas. I'm pretty sure you'll do well. So good luck heading into Jamaica, Michael. Now we're joined by senior guy Shamar Smith, sprint sensation. He will be representing the Bahamas in the 400 and 200 under 20 boys at this year's game. First and foremost, congratulations, Shamar.
Thank you very much.
I know I've been watching you for many years right at the sports complex, competing, coming first, time after time after time, but this is your first time making the Correctional team, correct?
Yes, sir.
What was the feeling like once you would have known on Sunday night after the Correctional trials were finally done and you were named to that team?
It was a big relief. Coming on the season was very tough. I had a couple minor injuries, but through it all, we still stuck it away, and now we are today. Now,
I know, Shamar, you did not perform particularly well in the 400. I know that I met you last week. I interviewed you, and you said that you didn't run your best race, but you were still glad that you was able to make the team. What's going to be your mindset going into Jamaica now?
We got to stay focused, stay positive. There's a reason behind all this, so we just got to go there and show our reason.
And how did you get in the track and the field?
It was because of my mother. She passed away when I was 8 years old, and ever since, I just did it for her, to try for her.
I know you guys recently came from Texas. You went to Texas, took part of the Texas Tech, I believe, invitational track meet. Had a chance to see guys like Terrence in action. He's a guy that's from Grand Bahama that we all love, and he's doing an exceptional job at the NCAA level, the highest level in track and field right now. What was it like to be in that arena, running indoors, seeing Terrence in action, having an opportunity to compete amongst so many different college scouts and coaches?
It was my first indoor track meet ever, so it was like a big eye-opener. So I went out there and I did my thing.
Jamaica has produced some pretty good athletes over the years. In fact, based on research, I think they would have won 44 consecutive Correctional track and field championships. Yeah. Now we're hoping we can hopefully break that cycle either this year, next year, very soon. But what's your expectations once you get into Jamaica?
I know Jamaica has some great competition, so I use that as a motive to work harder and come out on top at all times.
There you have it. That is Shamar Smith, and that is he's going to be representing the Bahamas in the 200 and 400, and hopefully the relays. Shamar is a promising athlete. I trust me when I say this. You will be hearing more about Shamar Smith in the near future. And that's going to do it for us here at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex for this special edition of Sports 360 as Team Bahamas and 11 athletes in general from Grand Bahama prepare to head into Jamaica for the 49th version of the Correctional Track and Field Championships. Hopefully these athletes come back with many, many medals, and hopefully they make the Bahamas proud as they go and represent us at the highest junior level track and field championships in this region. Thank you guys for tuning in to Sports 360.
watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council embracing the government's decision to lift restrictions on the church this Easter season. Also, a big Easter concert set for this Good Friday. And the Grand Bahama Disaster Relief Foundation and SBP Bahamas launching a new home repair program on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamila Missick. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, this is Holy Week, the most sacred period on the Christian calendar. And for the first time in 2 years, the Christian community can resume the traditional Holy Week celebrations. The president of the Grand Bahama Christian Council is expressing the church's excitement now that COVID-19 restrictions have been relaxed. President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Kenneth Lewis, describing Holy Week as the most important week on the Christian calendar.
It is central to what we believe. We believe that Christ died and he rose again. When we reflect on Holy Week allows us that opportunity to do an introspection of who we are as Christians. It allows us to take stock of our Christian walk, our relationship with God. When we pause and reflect on the enormity of God's love.
And now that protocols have been relaxed for church services, the church now has the freedom to commemorate Holy Week in person for the first time in 2 years. Reverend Lewis says the GB Christian Council is celebrating the government's decision to lift restrictions on the church.
I believe it was a good decision, and all of the pastors that I've spoken with, we are excited, right, that we can now hold Mass, have services, Bible study. I think it's 100% participation in the services. So the word has gone out to all of the churches that now we're moving back to normal. However, we still have to adhere to the protocol.
He says he believes it is a lesson in faith.
You would remember that when the restrictions first went into place, there was an uproar within the Christian community about the government telling the church what to do. And those of us who were of matured minds realized that the government was doing the right thing. And it was incumbent upon us to follow the restrictions, the rules, and the regulations that had been put in place. Yet, we still had to hold on to our faith that God would have seen us through this pandemic. It's amazing that just in 2 years, the numbers are down significantly.
Now, a Good Friday March is usually held annually, but due to the pandemic, that has not been the case. However, Reverend Lewis says they are looking forward to hosting the march next year.
We are planning, as we speak, we are going to have a huge march. It's going to be, the Christian Council is going to spearhead that. And it's going to be ecumenical, which means we're going to allow all the other churches to participate. And we're going to have a huge march to celebrate what God has done for us as a people and as a nation.
And he's sharing this message for Easter.
Is that while Easter reminds us of the pain and suffering of Christ, it should also remind us of the hope that Christ brought into the world, that light overcame darkness and life overcame death. And so we serve a living God, a God who overcomes it all. And Easter should also remind us of the tremendous gift and grace that God has given unto us, which is eternal life for all of us who are believers.
The Christian community in Abaco is celebrating Holy Week as well. President of the Abaco Christian Council, Pastor Edgbert Tinker, says they are looking forward to observing the solemn period in the Christian faith.
It's one of the tenets that we're supposed to follow, and it is the most sacred and holiest week in the Christian calendar, because this is the week he died, rose again, and hopefully we hope he soon return. And so we're excited about this week. We're glad about this week, and I thank God for this week.
This past Sunday, Palm Sunday, marked the first time since Hurricane Dorian that churches in Abaco have had up to 100% occupancy. Pastor Tinker is embracing this as a positive turn of events.
Everything is slowly coming back. We won't ever see normal again. We are presently in a new normal, but things are happening. Homes are being rebuilt. People are finding jobs, and some of the situations are getting better. Every day it's getting better. Well, I tell people I'm an eternal optimist. I always see the glass half full, always. And so things are getting better here in Abaco. In spite of what people are saying and all like that, it is getting better here in Abaco.
Meantime, the Bahamas Youth Brass Band gearing up to host an Easter extravaganza concert on the grounds of the community at Heart Tabernacle Church of God of Prophecy, Cole Road on Good Friday evening at 7 p.m. Director Derek Stubbs says they are looking forward to the support of the Grand Bahama community.
This is an aim just to bring persons together to celebrate the season of Easter. For a long time, of course, you know, we've been under restriction. And so nothing has been happening. And prior to all of that, the band has always made it a tradition to travel during the Easter season. And so now that it's all behind us somewhat, we're glad to be home this Easter and able to bring the cheer that we have been taking throughout the United States and throughout the Bahamas to bring it here at home. We're also excited because this time we're dealing with almost virtually a new band. We have about 80% of the members. This will be their first concert with the band. And so we are very, very excited about that.
Wonderful. Assistant Band Director Kelsey Jones and Annie Charlton of the Fine Arts Ministry encouraging residents to come out and join in the celebration.
At this concert, we would have Way from Trinidad, Nigel Lewis, Christopher Roberts from Nassau, IMC, and the legendary Colin Waters will be our special guest at this concert, so you don't want to miss it. We're going to have a great time in the Lord, time to dance and celebrate for Christ who has risen for us.
It will be a celebration you do not want to miss. Come on, come on, bring grandma, bring grandpa, bring sister, just as you are. It's going to be on the grounds at 7 p.m. at Call Road, Community at Heart. Come and celebrate Jesus because he's alive, and the band will tell you that.
Now that 100% occupancy has resumed for churches throughout the Bahamas, persons attending services throughout the country are urged to follow COVID-19 protocols. Once again, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is appealing to residents to wear face masks, sanitize, and continue to social distance. Additionally, the ministry is encouraging persons who are eligible to get vaccinated in order to save their lives. Residents are urged to make an appointment at vax.gov.bs. Once it is confirmed, they can visit the Susan J. Wallace Center Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Meantime, the government has designated Monday, April 18th, Easter Monday, as National Day of Prayer. Prayer services are expected to be held throughout the country. Here on Grand Bahama, prayer service will be held at St. Paul's Methodist Church between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 a.m.
Hi, I'm Pastor Bruce, the youth pastor of Calvary Temple. I just want to encourage you to keep Jesus in this Easter season. He's the reason why we celebrate this Easter, or we remember him during this Easter season. I know it's easy to get caught up on the colors and the hats and the food and the fried fish and the hot cross buns. But let's just pause to remember that this is the time where Jesus actually laid down his life. This is the time where we read in the Bible where Peter denied him, Judas betrayed him and killed himself, but Jesus laid down his life, and 3 days later, he rose again. This is the reason for our hallelujah. This is the reason for our amen. This is the reason for our shout. This season is the actual reason for what we believe, that Jesus died on the cross, rose again 3 days later, and we celebrate him. We celebrate a risen Savior. We celebrate a risen King. So don't get caught up in all the colors and everything this Easter season. Let's get caught up on Jesus, because he's the reason.
On down to Dolly Madison Home Center's Easter Week Lawn and Garden Department Sale. Going on from April 11th to 16th. Deals galore. Don't miss it.
Come on down now.
This is Nono's Fashion Boutique. This is a clothing store, women's clothing store. We cater to regular and plus size. We have a variety of t-shirts, jeans, shorts, heels. We have dinner attire. We have belts, accessories. We have rompers, bags, sets, jewelries. We have everything at Nono's Fashion Boutique. The jewelry we carry is custom jewelry. Chanel brand, gold, pearls. If you're looking to go to a funeral, wedding, we cater to that in custom jewelry. Come down and check us out for yourself. You will not be disappointed. On Instagram, you can find us at Nono's Fashion Boutique. The store hours are Monday through Saturday. The contact number is 533-6695. Our hours are 10 to 6. We are located downtown in the back of Forever here.
Visit Dollar Deals today for your Easter baskets, candies, toys, and so much more. We're located at number 2 Old Sam Plaza.
Alive brings to you the iPhone 12 64 gigs for $249 when you switch to Alive postpaid. Alive, believe in best.
Island Bedding is the Bahamas' leading manufacturer in mattress sets. But did you know we also carry top quality products like pillows, comforters, sheets, and much more. Our furniture line is also expanding to meet the needs of those rebuilding. We have bedroom sets, sofa beds, recliners, accent pieces, and so much more. Come and experience Island Bedding today, where everybody deserves their own island.
Don't miss the fabulous 25% off store-wide sale at Park & Shop downtown this April 13th, 14th, and 16th, excluding underwear and red tag items.
It's the Afternoon Beat. Afternoon Beat. 8:10 a.m. Afternoon Beat with Zion. Join me Monday to Friday from 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. on 8:10 a.m. It's the Afternoon Beat with Zion.
Take your space.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Caribbean Neurosurgery Foundation hosting a 2-day Bahamian Neurotrauma training workshop in New Providence and Grand Bahama. Day 2 taking place at the Pelican Bay Resort yesterday. Nurses in attendance had an opportunity to hear from Bahamian neurosurgeon and former NFL player Dr. Myron Roll about the critical role they play in saving a life and the techniques they can use to better the healthcare system. Acting Director of Nursing, Gina Dean, bringing greetings on behalf of the Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, who encouraged participants to grasp the knowledge being imparted and to use it to the benefit of the Bahamian people. Dean noting the importance of the training workshop, as she says Bahamians are no strangers to traumatic brain and spinal injuries.
Road traffic accidents and other accidents to falls and assaults, we often have to care for patients needing specialized neurosurgical care. And so as critical frontline healthcare professionals, nurses play a major role in the assessment, monitoring, and care of these patients. So we are very pleased that Dr. Roll and his team will be sharing their knowledge with us to help hone your skills to identify and stabilize neurotrauma patients, as well as communicate the need for urgent neurosurgical intervention.
Facilitator of the workshop, senior neurosurgery resident and chairman of the Caribbean Neurosurgery Foundation, Dr. Myron Roll says the death of an aunt who passed away from a traumatic brain injury was his motivation to change the way patients receive emergency care.
When I became a neurosurgeon, when I had the network, when I had the wonderful support like I have here, and my father as well, and I have the aptitude that I want to do something about this, and I want to come back home and I want to try to close that gap that we see in the delivery of healthcare, especially with urgent and emergent neurotrauma or neurosurgical cases. And so that's where this Caribbean Neurosurgery Foundation started. It started in a way to equip and empower individuals like you, the lifesavers, people who are sometimes unheralded, but you are saving lives. If you are given the tools and given the knowledge and training, or even just improved on those training, how can you extend the golden hours that we have to save a life?
Dr. Roll says in the academic neurosurgical literature, there are 4 hours to save a life for urgent or emergent cases.
Of that 4-hour window, the chances of that person becoming permanently disabled or dead go exponentially high. And so with the tools that our team here hopes to give you today, and some of the things we like to take you through, the scenarios and the knowledge and education we like to provide, we want to give you the power to extend that 4 hours, to extend it to 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, so that when the definitive neurosurgical treatment happens, that intervention happens, that patient can stay with us. Because road traffic accidents, assaults, falls, like Ms. Gina Dean said, they happen quite often, and often they happen to young people who are going to be fruitful members of our community and need to work and need to provide to society and need to raise kids and need to do all these wonderful things in life. And so if we're removing this 18 to 35 demographic who are getting in these road traffic accidents or these bike accidents, not wearing helmets and doing wheelies and falling off their bike or something like that, then we are doing the best for our country.
He's hoping that after the training workshop, the healthcare professionals in attendance would be better equipped to assist their patients in an effective and timely manner. In other news, the Grand Bahama Disaster Relief Foundation and SBP Bahamas jointly donating $450,000 to launch a new home repair program for Grand Bahama Island. The Grand Bahama Disaster Relief Foundation is a charitable organization founded by the Grand Bahama Port Authority and funded entirely by private donations. The new program, which begins Easter Monday, April 18th, 2022, will assist those in communities who are still recovering from the long-term impacts of Hurricane Dorian. Azure Quant has the details.
The Disaster Relief Foundation and SBP are donating $450,000 to the new home repair program, which will employ local licensed contractors to restore 50 homes throughout the island. The program will be targeting the elderly, the disabled, and single mothers with children. Foundation Director Ian Roll says their hearts go out to fellow residents of Grand Bahama who are still challenged by the after effects of the storm, as well as coping with the legacy of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy. Roll noting that SBP has really shown what it means to be our brother's keeper. He says the foundation is grateful for the partnership to provide relief efforts, not only to homes in Freeport, but also in the eastern and western ends of Grand Bahama. Andy Stoffleth, SBP Executive Director, says the new home repair initiative is part of their long-term recovery effort. He says they have been here over the past 2.5 years and are still rebuilding. 400 families have been welcomed back into their homes through the efforts of SBP, GBDRF, GBPA, and other organizations that have bonded since Dorian. Stoffleth says the mission is to provide fast, efficient building services to those who are vulnerable in the community to help them get back on their feet. If you would like to donate to the foundation, you can visit their website at gbdisasterrelief.org/donations. I'm Azure Quant, ZNS Network News.
A local construction company teaming up with a charitable organization out of South Carolina to give back to the mothers in the Garden Villas community. The giveaway taking place ahead of the Easter holidays. Azure Quant reports.
A charitable organization out of South Carolina, B. Gregory Giving, in conjunction with NOLA Investments, giving out care packages today in the Garden Villas community. B. Gregory Giving is a nonprofit youth development organization where they equip young black women with the toolkit necessary to turn interests into a career. Their visit to Grand Bahama took a turn, teaming up with NOLA Investments to distribute care packages throughout the community. Organizers from the organization say they try to give back to the communities they visit worldwide, making Grand Bahama their next stop.
This is our first time in the Bahamas. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we've purchased a condominium from Taino Beach Resorts. And so that's the first way of having us feel at home. You know, we're locals now. We're not foreigners anymore. We travel around, and this is what we do. You know, we try and give back. We try and bring back the positivity, the empowerment to us. So those are the things I feel like we need to do.
We usually give back everywhere we go. We've done this in Africa in 2020. We fed like 200-something families there, and so we wanted to do our part here.
Noe Quant from NOLA Investments says he hopes they impact the community in a small way, as the team will be doing positive things in the community from this point forward.
I hope it spurs a spark to get the fire going. We need more people like B Giving to assist in Grand Bahama, and like I say, I hope it goes in the right direction.
Organizers say they are giving out care packages to single mothers as they are the foundation of their homes.
We're giving to the young ladies, mothers in the community. You know, there's a lot of people in need in Grand Bahama, so this is a small step in the right direction. The mothers are the foundation. They are the structure. You know, once the mothers are complete, I think everything else falls in place.
B. Gregory Giving says that this is the first of many giveaways to touch down on Grand Bahama. I'm Azure Quant, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Azure. Now to this sporting note, our 54-member Carifta track and field team, the first to leave this morning, heading to Kingston, Jamaica. RJ Philippe is traveling with the team to Jamaica and will be providing coverage of the team's performance. Team Bahamas swim team will compete in Barbados. Amajal Knowles will splash with the swimmers in Barbados. So stay tuned to ZNS Radio and Television all week for team coverage of Carifta 2022. Stay with us. Our Facebook friend of the day up next.
For designer shoes, sandals, accessories, and handbags, visit Steppin' Out, now at 2 locations, Old Sam's Plaza Freeport and Top of the Hill Mackey Street, Nassau. Steppin' Out, when you want to put your best foot forward.
At Pizza Hut, we believe in pizza and good deals. Enjoy 2 large one-topping pizzas for only $24.65, VAT inclusive. Call us downtown at 352-9191 or East Sunrise Highway, 373-8500 to order your 2 delicious Pizza Hut pizzas with your favorite toppings. Available for dine-in, carry-out, and delivery. Order 2 large one-topping pizzas at
This Easter Sunday, enjoy limitless mimosas while you have brunch at Cocktails on the Bay in Port Lucaya. Brunch starts at 11 a.m. until 3, and it's only $35. That's Cocktails on the Bay, Port Lucaya.
Welcome to Port in a Minute, an informative segment brought to you by the Grand Bahama Port Authority, where we update you on the latest news taking place within the Port Group of Companies and our community.
Today, we are excited to announce that our licensing process is now fully digital. Our new online gateway, the Freeport Business Portal, allows entrepreneurs to apply for a business license, track the approval process, and receive free information about funding resources. It provides support for licensees searching for available locations, wanting to develop a business plan, and so much more. Existing licensees can get access to free training and ongoing assistance from our Small Business Bureau and can request information about upcoming initiatives to assist their business. Our portal is designed to ensure that all customers can have access to helpful resources 24/7. It is our commitment to do our part and enhance the ease of doing business in Freeport. Visit business.gbpa.com to see how we can help you.
That was Port in a Minute, brought to you by the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Be sure to tune in next time for more updates.
Alive's back with a deal just in time for the Easter holidays. Switch to Alive and get a TCL 20 SE for only $129 with the Freedom Plan included. For a limited time, April 13th and 14th, Alive has the TCL 20 SE, known for its expansive 6.82-inch display screen, its dual stereo speakers, and its reverse charging battery for a steal of a deal. New customers can purchase the TCL 20 SE for only $239. Existing customers $159, and when you switch to Alive, only $129 with the Freedom Plan included. Get the TCL 20 SE at any Alive van or store location while supplies last. We are game changers. We are Alive.
Hey, I'm D'Amico Nesbitt, and welcome to Health Bites, where each and every week we give you a helpful tip to help you on your health and fitness journey. Today we're going to talk about the importance of drinking water. Your body is made about 60% of water, so it's very vital for your body to function effectively. I'm going to give you quickly 3 of the main benefits of drinking water. One benefit is that it helps to remove toxins and flush toxins out of the body and keep your body regular. That means you go to the bathroom on time. So sometimes you might get constipated, maybe because you're not drinking enough water to help flush those toxins out. And that can help prevent symptoms such as being irritable, having bad skin, and so on. A second benefit of drinking a lot of water, it helps to prevent pain, and that can be pain from things like kidney stones or an everyday headache. Sometimes when you're dehydrated, you get headaches. Of course, if you don't drink enough water, you can get kidney stones, which are very painful. The third benefit is that water can help aid with your weight loss goals. So, water, sometimes you can confuse hunger with thirst. So a good way to prevent that is to make sure that your water intake is high. And also, drinking water as opposed to drinking sugary drinks such as, juices and sodas and so on will help to keep your calorie intake down and help you along with your weight loss goals. We have these nifty water bottles here at the Fitness Connection that can help you stay on track with your water drinking for the day. So come over and check us out. And thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the day is Shireen Saint. We thank you so much for your support. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for joining us. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in this.
Did you know that if a fire starts in your home, you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape? Keep your family and home safe with these few fire safety preparation and prevention tips.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report, a jump in fat collections. Strike action averted. An appeal ahead of Easter services. And Carifta teams are off. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The deficit contracts as VAT collection expands. Two of the takeaways of February's fiscal report as released today. In this report, our Carla Palmer takes a look at how else the month under review shaped up economically.
According to Financial Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Simon Wilson, the intake of total revenue for the month of February this year totaled $197 million. Although a significant sum, he says the numbers are down in comparison to the previous month of January.
During the month of February 2022, revenues declined by 16.2%, or $38.2 million compared to January 2022.
According to Wilson, the numbers, those are still in line with seasonal trends. As with the exception of February, monthly revenue performance did increase by 40.8%, or $57.2 million compared to the same period last year. Inflation, on the other hand, he says, contracted by 4.4%, of $10.7 million to $230.5 million in February, compared to January the same year. An increase, he says, amounting to 10.1% over February 2021.
The big driver of the increase of expenditure was paying prior year bills as we try to catch up with the rest. As a result of these activities, a deficit of $33.1 million was realized for the month of February, which is approximately 52% lower than the same period for the prior year. So even though we have the expenditure increase, the deficit has continued to shrink.
In fact, over the course of 8 months, ending February this year, the Financial Secretary says the deficit was estimated at $326.5 million, which reportedly represents 38% of the budget. It's a 62.2% or $537 million reduction from the deficit of $863.7 million experienced the prior year, he stated.
Net debt widened by $181.3 million. And our net debt increase for the first 8 months of the year was $428 million, $428.8 or $429 million, which is when compared to the prior period last year of $1.29 billion. It's a dramatic reduction.
Comparing value-added tax collection to pre-pandemic levels before Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic, to have a true comparison for this past January and February, VAT totaled $165.5 million compared to the same period in 2020. Even with the VAT rate reduction from 12% to 10%, a $47.1 million or 28.5% increase was still realized. So far for January and February, the total value-added tax collected was $212.6 million in comparison to January 2020. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, the rippling effects of rising inflation certainly being felt here at home. A local economist gave our Cleopatra Murphy some insight on the factors contributing to the daily sticker shocks to everyone's pocketbooks.
The cost of everything from food to gasoline has soared for months, with the U.S. Department of Labor even reporting that inflation is at its highest since 1981, while the Consumer Price Index has jumped 8.5% in March from the year before. Principal of Sumner Strategic Partners Edison Sumner says at its simplest, inflation is the increase in consumer spending and consumption of goods and services driven by market demand.
As long as there is the issue of supply and demand, as long as there is demand that either keeps pace with or outperforms the supply chain or the supply of that particular thing demanded, then there will always be that level of increase in the rate of inflation.
The supply chain challenge emerged with the COVID-19 pandemic and the shortage of labor that Sumner explains immensely slowed the movement of goods through shipping lanes.
Every day that these vessels were in the ocean, that they were not able to offload their containers, was costing them and costing the person or the company to whom those goods were being delivered, costing them more money because these vessels were sitting in the ocean. They are consuming more fuel. They are paying more labor costs because of the man hours that are on the vessels that were there longer than they were contracted to be.
Sumner says businesses have transferred those costs that in some cases increased as much as 60% to consumers. However, should inflation continue to rise, Sumner warns it will put the cost of ordinary items out of the reach of ordinary people.
Your dollar today is not purchasing the same amount of goods you would have purchased, say, a year ago when the inflation rate might not have been as high as it is now. And certainly going into the future, if our markets are tied directly to U.S. markets, to U.S. inflationary rates and U.S. policies and the rest of it, then that means that as the U.S. rate of inflation moves, inherently the Bahamas rate of inflation will likely move in tandem with that.
The supply chain challenge is not the only issue driving inflation. Neither is it the first time Bahamians have felt its pinch, as Sumner reminded that rates previously soared around 1992 and 2008.
You've got to look back at these periods in our history and decide what happened around that time that caused the rate of inflation to spike the way they did. And you're talking about essentially going back to armed conflicts, right? War that was happening around the world. Now, we're again in the middle of the war in Eastern Europe with Ukraine and Russia, and that is having a direct impact on, for example, one of the most expensive and necessary commodities there is, which is oil.
In another report, Sumner explains the potential fallout of continued inflation. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Now, also a hot-button issue this evening. What became of Wednesday's meeting between senior government officials and petroleum dealers? Leading the sit-down at his Cable Beach office were Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, who was joined by Economic Affairs Minister Senator the Honorable Michael Hakidas. We can tell you the Prime Minister assured the dealers of his commitment to address the challenges they face. This coming on the heels of the association announcing a potential strike this Easter holiday weekend.
The Prime Minister will take to look at the issue with the retailers. They are going to provide us with some more information in terms of the options available. And hopefully within 1 week or so, we will come and have a next meeting and finalize what type of support that can be provided to the retailers without adversely impacting the public.
Now, the Petroleum Dealers Association equally pleased with the outcome of yesterday's meeting. The rising cost of fuel, taxes on the local industry, and operational cost, just some of the issues the dealers raised. Cleopatra Murphy has more on the group's next move.
A fuel crisis appears to have been averted as Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Dealers Association, Vasco Bastian, is assuring motorists they can breathe easily this Easter weekend.
There's no need for anyone to worry about gas stations on the island of New Providence or the Family Islands closing down at any time, anytime. We are in this for the long haul. There will be no suspension of services. Whatever gas station or company brand of your choice that you prefer, whether it's Esso, whether it's Shell, or whether it's Rupert's, go right ahead. As a matter of fact, because of the holiday weekend, I would encourage motorists to drive more, to go sightseeing, go and hail Grammy, go and hail a cousin.
This comes following a meeting with Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis and other government officials Wednesday, after Bastian earlier in the week said 90% of the association's membership of approximately 30 gas station operators were primed to strike over the Easter holiday weekend. The impetus for that threat, soaring oil prices fueled by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and increasing cost of operations many feared, threatened to put them out of business. Bastian says the association's nearly hour-and-a-half-long meeting, where members laid out their concerns on the table, was extremely worthwhile.
I must say that the Prime Minister was very, very receptive, and I can also add that for the amount of years that I've put into this industry and the amount of times I've met with various different government officials and different institutions and entities, that meeting yesterday was by far the most productive I've had in the last 10 to 12 years.
The association's primary complaint was that despite fuel now more than $6 at the pumps, members still earn just 54 cents per gallon of gas sold. While Bastian suggested the association wanted an increase in the profit margin, Minister of Economic Affairs Senator the Honorable Michael Alkidis dismissed that as a non-starter earlier in the week.
The margin and margin on gas and margin on diesel is something that I want to address in the public domain. We touch on certain aspects of that, and so it would be silly of me or immature of me to even discuss margins on gas or margins on diesel in the public domain at this time.
The Petroleum Dealers Association is set to have further meetings with government, and while those dates have not been finalized, Bastian says he is optimistic about the industry's future. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, still to come, an appeal to follow COVID-19 protocols, and hope you got your fish in time for Good Friday. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give into. A juicy piece of KFC, to feel elevated by the aroma, and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Nassau family, it's your girl, Benita Jones, and I want to invite all of you to the Holy Week Revival, April 14th and 15th at 7 p.m. nightly at the Southland Church of God Cathedral. Listen, you don't want to miss it. Bishop Paul S. Morton Sr. is going to be there, and Pastor Tolan Morgan, and I'll be there lifting up the name of Jesus in worship. Come on out, let's praise the Lord, and let's celebrate our Savior together. See you there.
You watch them grow,
and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
4 New Providence residents have contracted the COVID-19 virus based on the latest numbers health officials have released. And among the group are 3 females and a male. Meantime, that steady decline in hospitalizations put us now at 6 COVID admissions. Again, all the patients are moderately ill. As for active cases and recoveries, that's at 108 and 2 respectively, while 140 RT-PCR tests were completed. While health officials are urging the public to comply with COVID protocols during Easter services and events. There's also the reminder that the recent return to 100% occupancy at churches and places of worship is contingent on physical distancing of 3 feet between families and individuals of different households. As it relates to social gatherings held outdoors, officials continue to stress that parties with greater than 300 attendees, concerts, fetes, carnivals, fairs, junkanoo parades, and/or practice rallies must apply for approval. Furthermore, all attendees must be fully vaccinated or present a negative COVID-19 test and adhere to COVID-19 protocols. The Christian community celebrating Maundy Thursday, the Thursday before Easter. It is believed that Jesus on this day washed the feet of his disciples during the Last Supper. It's also during this meal that Jesus predicts his betrayal of one of the disciples and foretells that Peter will deny knowing him 3 times. Well, just a few hours until the long Easter holiday weekend kicks in, and there are mixed reviews coming in from fishermen around town as residents hope to catch last-minute deals for Good Friday. Lloyd Allen reports.
It's down to the wire as persons far and near prepare for the holiday weekend with Good Friday and Easter Monday in mind. With fish being a staple for this time of year, we spoke with vendors who explained while concerns remain, optimism is the order of the day.
We got groupers, all the snappers going. We got Margaret, we got grunts, we got hogfish. We got just about a little everything.
Seasoned fisherman Mr. Roker at the Blue Hill South Farmers Market says while most vendors attempt to provide a diverse selection of product, there are some Easter staples. The snapper. Most are apparently sold out, and he shared a little about this specialty buy, a massive gray snapper.
If you're a chef, and take easy. Just season, fry. That fish right there is about maybe 50 pounds. That fish right there costs you about $300. To clean that one fish is like $25.
As for sales for the remainder of the day, he predicts to be on site at least until 8.
Because ain't everybody get off at 2, 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, people, we still got to wait till 7, 8. Last night they wait till 8:30, dark. Just so you could eat fish for Easter.
President of vendors at the site, Kenya Lewis, says the holiday is welcomed by vendors as it represents a profitable time.
That's one thing about Good Friday. We sure will sell some fish. But as far as the market here, we've been growing over the few weeks, like tremendously. I mean, everything is getting put together well.
A different tone, however, for vendors at Potter's Key, where Tony Culmer, owner of 2 fishing vessels, predicted this is the worst Easter he has ever seen.
Sales has been terrible. This is the worst I've seen it in my entire career as far as Easter sales. We haven't had like a traffic jam here. Well, vehicles having problems getting on the dock. There's a shortage of fish, but yet still people are not coming to buy fish.
Explaining that his supplies were sold out almost immediately back in March, Coleman feels supply and demand is at the crux of dwindling sales at Potter's Key Dock.
Snappers was going as high as $250, $260 per kit. And people were buying them, but there's very, very few fish here. Right now, you can't find a kit of fish, a kit of snapper, margaret fish, all grunt now. There's none here. There's a shortage of fish out there.
And as there is not much more fishermen can do to ensure good sales, it is hoped that customer demand will encourage longevity for the industry. Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Well, hot cross buns are given with fish on Good Friday. Crystal Darling visited a few bakeries earlier this week to get an update on the demand for this sweet and spiced treat.
Easter is coming, and so are the hot cross buns. But with prices of ingredients going up, how is that impacting the production of these traditional Easter treats?
We've had to increase our prices slightly, but the price of ingredients has continually gone up.
With butter and egg has gone up almost 50%, and I had to go up a little higher up on my hot cross buns and stuff.
Now, contrary to popular belief, hot cross buns are not simply bread with icing, and all of the bakers we interviewed assured us of that.
But hot cross buns has a lot more spices. Ours, we have a whole lot of ingredients in ours that make it so much more rich. Stuff like, I'm not going to give you my recipe, but we have stuff like molasses in there. We have cream. We have almond extract. We have all kind of stuff in there that makes the hot cross bun, take it up another notch, take it to another level.
I've noticed also that there are a lot of persons just selling bread and putting icing on it and calling it hot cross buns. And the Bahamian public deserve the best that the nation has to offer.
And because they are denser and ingredient-rich, hot cross buns also tend to last longer than your average roll.
The hot cross buns has a lot of fat in it. Now, it depends on where you get the hot cross buns from. That will cause it to last longer because sometimes they come hard, so there's nothing you can do about that. But otherwise, when you get you a good bun, it should last you about 4 or 5 days.
The pastry chefs say they enjoy the sweet Easter favorite for traditional reasons as well.
Most of us are looking for that flavor around this time every year because it's now become a tradition to us.
A lot of people have memories at Easter time where they gather to the table with the fish after church and they sit down and they eat hot cross buns with their fried fish.
So while prices of ingredients may have risen, hot cross buns are still being baked up in large quantities to celebrate the Good Friday holiday. Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30 and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
We all know how good food makes us feel. It's like the feeling you get on Bay. And at Popeyes, we give you that feeling because we know how to make good food. Our food is the food of joy. and the joy of being alive despite hard times. We don't do boring or bland. We are proud and big-hearted and love sharing with you, our fans. We take pride in sharing. We always do it with love. And that's the Popeyes difference that you can taste in every bite.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
Bahamas National Statistical Institute, formerly the Department of Statistics, is commencing the 2022 census during the months of April through June. There will be 3 ways for individuals to complete their questionnaires: online, via telephone, and in person. The online census will have a questionnaire that individuals can complete from the comfort of their home. This only applies to the households who would have provided contact information during the 2021 listing exercise. Via the telephone, census administrators will be conducting the census questionnaire over the phone. And finally, the traditional in-person interviews will also be conducted. You may ask the question, but what is the census? The right answer would be the total count of people living in the country at a specified time. Every person in every dwelling unit, regardless of age and nationality, throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas will be counted. The count depends on you.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family, join the family, Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love, a friend that you can trust, Family Guardian.
The management of the Bahamas Department of Corrections accused of contributing to COVID-19 outbreaks by failing to quarantine COVID-19 positive prisoners from the general population and failing to provide prisoners with timely access to the vaccine. This goes hand in hand with the consistent, quote-unquote, complaint from inmates that prison authorities did not take their health concerns seriously, and to the point that sick male inmates and those with disabilities had inadequate access to the medical center. All this coming out in the recently released U.S. Human Rights Report, which also cited that maximum security cells for men measured approximately 6 feet by 10 feet and held up to 6 people with no mattresses or toilet facilities. It was also determined that inmates removed human waste by bucket, a chronic complaint, and that there was a lack of beds and bedding. This reportedly led to some inmates developing bed sores from lying on bare ground. Sanitation also reportedly a general problem with cells infested with rats, maggots, and insects. Further, the report noted that while the government claimed to provide access to toilets and showers 1 hour a day to prisoners in maximum security areas, the U.S. Human Reports also made this observation that while the law prohibits people serving at a prison sentence from voting, those who are detained but not convicted are permitted. However, individuals in the main prison who were detained but not convicted were denied the right to vote in the September 16th general election. Well, one community group is getting a head start on attracting a new wave of youngsters in its summer enrichment initiative. Based in the Centerville community, the White Dove program attracts teens open to improving their health from the inside out and ready to redefine their definition of discipline. Wellness coordinator Dr. Elvira Higgs lets us in on this year's focus, centered on maintaining balance in the body, mind, and spirit.
An 8 weeks wellness program, which we'll meet one day every week for 8 weeks. We'll be teaching them about nutrition, exercise, the importance of drinking water, sunlight, which we are in right now, but the best position for sunlight for health and healing is with your back to the sun. Temperance, being temperate in even the good things, the exercising now, even for exercises, you need to be temperate in what you eat.
For most of the summer, the teens will benefit from a number of sessions ranging from health and wellness to self-defense. President Randy Johnson says while the program primarily targets teenagers, the summer program connects to the club's initial goal.
It was established to help to develop the youngsters in our community, spiritually, mentally, socially, and physically, inspiring them to reach their full potentials. Most of these children are from the Plantor Street area, off East Street, Plantor Street, Lifebuoy Street, Sunlight Cottage, Sunlight Village, Fritz Lane, Windsor Lane, and some of the surrounding areas.
RBC is celebrating International Day of Pink by donating to 8 Caribbean charities as it stands against bullying and discrimination. Here at home, the bank donated $500 to the Caribbean Voice. Head of RBC's Caribbean Banking, Chris Ronald, maintains RBC employees have long been global leaders in promoting diversity and inclusion, and it's integral to provide an environment where employees can bring their authentic selves to work without fear of harassment, bullying, marginalization, or discrimination. Well, the book's title, quite eye-catching, but this young author is hoping to pull readers into the story of a woman who lost her way but eventually returned to her path. Jiminita Swain explains in this week's edition of Catching the Feeling.
Confessions of a Fornicating Church Girl, a new book from new author Lisa McFall. Of course, the main question, why that title?
I know it was an eye catcher. Like, you're not gonna walk past a book that has that title and just ignore it. But I also named it that because it's the truth. It's my truth. I grew up in church my entire life. I was in the choir, the praise team, the dance team, the cookout ministry, whatever ministry you name it. However, I, like so many other young people, just found themselves down a downward spiral on a wayward path.
The 27-year-old nursing student says she made the time to put pen to paper despite her busy schedule.
It is like confessions. It's like a memoir of all, well, just about all of the things that I experienced, but last but not least, my journey to wholeness. My book is about hope, and it's about the grace and love of Jesus. So I started actually writing this book between 2014 and 2015, but I stopped because I knew that I wanted to write a book, but I wasn't quite ready yet. I didn't have all the material. So I wrote this book in 2021, which was last year. I took 99 days to write this book, and as soon as it was done, on the 100th day, I sent it over to the publisher, and the rest was history.
As for reaction to the book,
the responses I have received have been positive. I've had people locally as well as internationally message me on Instagram, on Facebook, just telling me how encouraged they were or inspired they were simply through reading my book. A lot of persons, particularly women and teenage girls, young women, they would reach out to me and say they would point out particular parts in the book that stood out to them the most, or the part that they could relate to the most.
The book can be found in local bookstores and on online platforms. Jiminita Swain for Catching the Feeling.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
If you like a hearty, meaty burger, the A1 Steakhouse King at Burger King Nassau has it all. With flame-grilled beef, lots of bacon, cheese, and crispy onions on a sesame seed bun, the only thing that can top this is the tangy flavor of A1 steak sauce. The Steakhouse King is a meat lover's dream, and with an ice-cold Pepsi and hot fries, it's all you need to fill your day. Get your A1 Steakhouse King as a combo or part of the new King's Feast, only at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals, and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
My name is Macumbla Smith. Most people know me as Kumbi. I'm a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, and I am fully vaccinated. I would consider myself in good health. Upon finding out that I had the virus, COVID-19, I was not only shocked, but I was frightened. What changed my mind or what helped me to decide to get the vaccination was realizing, because of my career, my work, I'm in close proximity with a lot of mature people. Numerous times I'd find myself in the face of a client, or he or she is in my face. So to protect both of us, I thought it best that I should get vaccinated. I wouldn't wish the experience of contracting the disease on anybody. From my experience, it feels like a death sentence. And especially if you're mature in age or you have underlying symptoms, don't wait any longer. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. Now is the time.
Started with today's lesson. Bobby, can you tell me the national bird of the Bahamas?
Miss J, we can't hear Bobby because he's fooling around with the other guys.
All right now, y'all settle down. That's okay, Bobby. I'll have a talk with your mom. It's time to transform the way you learn.
Transform the way you learn and improve your in-home Wi-Fi coverage with Eero.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
To be the best, world-class athletes depend on a live to stay connected. We are committed to promoting Bahamian excellence locally and on an international stage. With hundreds of thousands of people depending on us, we must be a strong, fast, and flexible network. With speeds as fast as Joanna and plans as flexible as Donald, there's a plan suitable for everyone starting as low as $1 a day. With our Freedom Plan, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plan, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming included. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
Sandals Emerald Bay's nearly 600-plus team members recently learned more about the importance of health and wellness during the resort's health symposium. Resort officials collaborated with Exuma's health professionals and insurance agencies to educate employees about maintaining a healthy lifestyle and managing chronic illnesses. Exuma Medical Clinic nurses discussed mental health, abuse, hypertension, diabetes, and sexually transmitted infections, while native entrepreneurs shared all natural products. Sandals Emerald Bay's resident nurse provided glucose and blood pressure screening and cholesterol checks, fresh fruit smoothies, fitness sessions, and massages. The resort's environment, health, and safety manager, Synovia Bowe, acknowledged that since the pandemic, many team members have lost family members and friends, which affected their mental and physical health. The symposium was a guide to reconnect to a healthier lifestyle. Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather, and for that we turn to Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil. What can you tell us today?
Well, good evening, Makisha. Right now we are under mostly cloudy skies, and those clouds will start to darken up as we get into tomorrow. We'll tell you all about that later in the newscast. But right now the temperature is at 81 degrees, relative humidity 73%. We have southeast winds at 16 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,016.3 millibars. That is 30.01 inches. And the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the outlets this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 77 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Grand Toll, Key, and Marsh, Albabico, the Berry Islands at 79 degrees. 80 degrees in Alliston, Bimini, Harbor Island, 75, Roxanne, Eleuthera, 79 degrees, 77 in Black Point, Exuma, Kemps Bay, St. Andros. Fresh Creek, Central Andros have a temperature of 76 degrees, 79 in Alliston, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, and Georgetown, Exuma, 80 degrees in Regatta Island, Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 81, Acklands, 81, Matthew Town, Inago, 82, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern islands tonight through Good Friday, easterly flow at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide takes place at 7:08 this evening. You can expect another high tide at 7:27 tomorrow morning for the central and southeastern parts of our country. East to southeast winds at 15 to 20 knots. Wave heights still choppy at 4 to 6 feet over the ocean, so we're maintaining caution flags in the central and southeastern islands through Friday. And then on Saturday in the northwestern islands, the winds become easterly at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide 8:10 in the morning, low tide 2:21 in the afternoon for the central and southeastern islands. The winds easterly at 15 to 20 knots. Wave heights continuing at 4 to 6 feet with that caution flag remaining in place. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
I ain't going back. No. I ain't going back. No. I done had one heart attack, so I ain't going back. I ain't going back. No, I ain't going back. She done give me heart attack, Jack. I ain't going back. It's not often I get the chance to have what I call a real romance. Hugging and kissing all the time.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, the extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Man in my bedroom eating all.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. You have to answer every question truthfully and provide all the information requested, or you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. Your insurance company relies on the information you provide to determine whether to issue you a policy. Leaving out just one piece of information could lead to misrepresentation. So read your application form carefully. If you're unsure about anything, ask your insurance agent or broker before completing and signing your insurance application form. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married?
Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service? I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. You have to answer every question truthfully and provide all the information requested, or you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. Your insurance company relies on the information you provide to determine whether to issue you a policy. Leaving out just one piece of information could lead to misrepresentation. So read your application form carefully. If you're unsure about anything, ask your insurance agent or broker before completing and signing your insurance application form. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
Nassau family, it's your girl, Benita Jones, and I want to invite all of you to the Holy Week Revival, April 14th and 15th at 7 p.m. nightly at the Southland Church of God Cathedral. Listen, you don't want to miss it. Bishop Paul S. Morton Sr. is going to be there, and Pastor Tolan Morgan, and I'll be there lifting up the name of Jesus in worship. Come on out, let's praise the Lord, and let's celebrate our Savior together. See you there.
This segment of the news is presented by Sands, the truly Bahamian beer.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Tune in to the ZNS Network for your live Carifta updates. Brought to you by the Dalbinas Agency, J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, Bank of the Bahamas, ISL Bahamas, and Vitamalt.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Thursday. I'm Charles Fisher. Our Carifta track and field team, the first out of the blocks. The 54-member team left this morning for Kingston, Jamaica, and the games which will get underway on Saturday, wearing that aquamarine black and gold with pride. The team held their final workout Wednesday at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, doing some leg stretches and baton exchanges. Head coach Luther Roll.
Well, we know that we're going into the Lions Den and everybody is excited to be there. And we expect for everybody to give it 110%. The kids are very excited. They're motivated. And they're all excited to do their best. So, and as far as expectation, they I think overall they are ready. We've had a sports psychologist came and speak to them and preparing them for competition. It's a bit jittery at first whenever you go into a strange place, but we just tell them, trust their training. It's the training that brought them this far, and, once you get there, just do what it is that you've been doing all along. Don't let anybody distract you. Just focus on what it is that you come there for, and I'm sure at the end of the day, they will exceed expectations.
Roll glad for this opportunity to lead Team Bahamas after not having the games for the last 2 years.
I've been selected head coach for the past 3 years, and unfortunately, the last 2 years we didn't have Carifta, and the lot fall on me again. I'm excited and I'm ready to go, and I'm going to give it my best. You know, I have a very seasoned coaching staff, and together, all heads together, I think we will do our very best in this one.
RJ Philippe is traveling with the track and field team and will provide daily coverage. Meantime, our swimmers, they left late this afternoon, headed to Bridgetown, Barbados. Amajal Knowles is with them, and he will keep us up to date on their performance.
Hours, Bahamas Aquatics is set to defend its Correctional Swimming Championships, aiming for the vaunted 4P and a chance to take home its 6th swimming championship in the past 7 years. We caught up with a few of the team captains of their expectations heading into Bridgetown, Barbados.
Going in, it's just swim my own race, be there for the team, motivate the younger ones, just provide a positive energy.
Yeah, for me, it's focusing on like swimming my own race and not trying to like race, and just like do as best as I can and look out for the younger swimmers, especially because they're not having experience as us.
I have some pretty high expectations. I'm excited to see what it's going to be like back in the arena after so many years, especially it being our final year. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree with Zaylee. I'm really excited to be back in Barbados. I've got high expectations for our team. I think we're super well prepared, and I think it's going to be great.
I can remember my first year, 2017, having an older figure just to be there, someone who has experience already, was a very big help. So I just want to offer that same impact for a younger swimmer, so that, you know, I know that sometimes it can be overwhelming, Carifta. So if they need a helping hand, someone to talk to, I'm there.
I would say making sure that they're there for their events, and just like including them with the team, not like leaving them out. If you see them like being quiet, just making sure to like talk to them, and just, yeah.
And for another captain, Errol Thompson III, he says the familiarity with the Barbados pool will give them an advantage.
Being familiar with the pool, it does help a lot. However, no matter what, a race is a race. So it could be the same pool, it could be a different pool, just got to bring it.
And stay tuned to the ZNS Network for continued updates on Bahamas Aquatics as they aim for the 4P at this year's Correctional Swimming Championships. For ZNS Whole Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Tune in to the ZNS Network for your live Carifta updates. Brought to you by the Dalbinis Agency, J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, Bank of the Bahamas, ISL Bahamas, and Vitamalt.
Come next weekend, the National Family Regatta will set sail in Georgetown, Exuma. The big boys will not be in the water, only C and E. Commodore Danny Strong explains the reason why.
Since the vast majority of the largest sloops A and B classes had been laid up for 2 years, they would require reconditioning and in some cases expensive and time-consuming repairs. Owners would have been hard-pressed to secure the necessary funding and the skilled workers to complete the work in just a few weeks. We did not consider it responsible to burden them with this serious difficulty. Yes, we will have those cup races, and we will have the Governor General's Cup, we will have the Prime Minister's Cup, and we'll have the Ministry of Agriculture's Cup. We definitely can't leave the Ministry of Agriculture out. We will have 3 races every day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And of course, on Friday, we'll have that special bottom bowl, race. I think it's going to be a good affair. And it will have that festive atmosphere of the National Family Island Regatta. The onshore activities going to be supplemented by the most outstanding entertainers in the country. I mean, I don't want to call a name, but DMAC is leading that team.
Head of Regatta desk Barry Wilmot saying the demand for regattas are coming in day by day.
On an annual basis, we have approximately 18 regattas at senior and about 20 junior. To date, I have requests for 9 regattas, inclusive of the National Family Island, C&E class. We have Long Island, we have Barry Tarry, we have Black Point, we have Rollville. We speaking with Auckland right now. Cat Island is on board, and I'm in conversation with Harbour Island. North Andros, yeah. In fact, I just had a meeting with North Andros last night, and they all set to go July 7th through the 9th.
And that's going to be a wrap on Sports Thursday. I'm Charles Fisher. Thanks for watching. Have a safe Easter weekend.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Hop to your favorite super value and quality supermarkets for great savings, including Robin Hood flour, 5.5 pounds, $4.79. Carnation evaporated milk, 12.7 ounces, 2 for $2.09. Fay bath tissue, jumbo, 6 rolls, $3.99. Fresh pork shoulders, $1.79 per pound. Idaho potatoes, 5-pound bag, $3.49. The specials you'll love are at Super Value and Quality Supermarket.
We elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, elevate.
I'm Corval Pfeiffer. For 19 years now, the Falcons Boys Club, an organization that aims to provide positive, uplifting, and spiritual motivation to our male youth, has hosted its annual Building Youth is Better Than Mending Men Boys Conference. The Grand Bahama-based organization this year welcomed BTC's CEO, Andre Foster, as the conference's keynote speaker.
I can't tell you how special it was to be a part of this amazing event, recognizing these youth, also recognizing some of the leaders within the community. We had ministers of government here, we had, members of the police force here, and members of the clergy, all recognizing, the challenges that youth today have. We recognized the kids with some gifts. We gave phones, and we gave an iPhone 13 to the top student. So hopefully giving them some incentive to continue to do great things. So couldn't be more proud. Looking forward to the next one as we continue to drive into our communities and give back to our communities and really engage with great groups like the Falcons Boys Club.
This morning, we want to say how grateful we are to Mr. Andre Foster, the CEO of BTC, for taking time out this morning to be here in Grand Bahama and to support the 19th annual Building Youth is Better Than Mending Men Boys Conference as our guest speaker. I want to say how grateful we are to BTC for always being a good corporate citizen and being able to help young people, to be able to help programs through the length and breadth of the Bahamas.
Being there to support our young men, our young people, our community. That's us. Because here at BTC, we believe heart is not something we have, it's something we share. And these are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pfeiffer. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection.
Elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Hello, I'm Beverly Curry, and in this episode of Ordinary People, we bring you the story of a man who was selling rocks. Now he is sifting rocks. Stay tuned.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, satellite pictures showing some upper-level moisture beginning to advance into the northwest Bahamas. That is associated with an upper-level trough, which is heading our way, and we expect it to move across the northwest Bahamas beginning mid-morning tomorrow. And you will see an increase in shower activity with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Some of these showers and thunderstorms will be heavy at times, so it is advisable to take your rain gears with you tomorrow. And our forecast for tonight calls for increasing cloudiness with thunderstorms developing as that system gets a little closer. 73 degrees will be your low temperature tonight. And tomorrow it's going to be simply cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms. As we told you already, some of those will be heavy at times. 82 degrees for your high temperature, and the extended weather forecast. Very wet Good Friday, and then things will hang around. Some of those showers will linger around into Saturday morning, but by late afternoon we expect some clarity to take place there. As we head through the remainder of the weekend and into early part of next week, lots of sunshine working its way back into our forecast. Temperature-wise, we're going to keep you in the low 80s right through the 7-day cycle with those nighttime temperatures in the low 70s. Makishla?
Well, thanks, Basil. And before we leave, we've got some news for you. ZNS is about to get another digital upgrade. That announcement made by the Broadcasting Corporation's Executive Chairman, Paiswell Forbes, during a staff meeting this afternoon. Joined by board members, General Manager Kaylisa DeVoe Isaacs and Chaplain Bishop Lester Cox, Chairman Forbes also revealed the details of activities commemorating Radio Bahamas' 86th anniversary on May 26 that will involve staff playing a greater role in preparing and inspiring the Bahamas. Bishop Cox challenged staffers to always strive to be their best. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching, and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.